That yin's a thief, was his spoken reflection. There's something mighty wrong wi' Ypres the day. His head was clearing, and he was getting very wroth. His battalion had gone off and left him in a cellar, and miscreants were abroad. It was time for a respectable man to be up and doing. Besides, he wanted his breakfast. He fixed his bayonet, put the pistol in his pocket, and emerged into the November drizzle. The streets, suddenly, were curiously still. The occasional shell fire came to his ears, as if through layers of cotton wool. He put this down to dizziness from lack of food, and made his way to what looked like an estaminet. The place was full of riotous people who were helping themselves to drinks, while a distracted landlord wrung his hands. He flew to Galbraith, the tears running down his cheeks, and implored him in broken words. "Where's the English?" he cried. "The méchants rob me. There is an émeute. Where's the officers?" "That's what I'm wanting to ken mysel," said Galbraith. "They're gone," wailed the innkeeper. "There is no gendarme or anything, and I am robbed." "Where's the police? Get the provost man. Do you tell me there's no police left?" "I'm robbed," the wail continued. "The méchant robs the magasin, and we will be assassinés." Light was dawning upon Private Galbraith. The British troops had left Ypres for some reason which he could not fathom, and there was no law or order in the little city. At other times he had hated the law as much as any man, and his relations with the police had often been strained. Now he realized that he had done them an injustice. Disorder suddenly seemed to him the one thing intolerable. Here had he been, undergoing a stiff discipline for weeks, and if that was his fate, no civilian should be allowed on the loose. He was a British soldier, marooned here by no fault of his own, and it was his business to keep up the end of the British army and impose the king's peace upon the unruly. His temper was getting hot, but he was curiously happy. He marched into the estaminet. "Out of here, ye scum!" he bellowed. "Sortez, ye cochons!" The revellers were silent before the apparition. Then one, drunker than the rest, flung a bottle which grazed his right ear. That put the finishing touch to his temper. Roaring like a bull, he was among them, prodding their hinder parts with his bayonet, and now and then reversing his rifle to crack a head. He had not played centre-forward in the old days at Celtic Park for nothing. The place emptied in a twinkling, all but one man whose legs could not support him. Him Private Galbraith seized by the scruff and the slack of his trousers, and tossed into the street. "Now, I'll have my breakfast," he said to the trembling landlord. Private Galbraith, much the better for his exercise, made a hearty meal of bread and cold ham, and quenched his thirst with 2 bottles of Hazelbrook beer. He had also a little brandy, and pocketed the flask, for which the landlord refused all payment. Then, feeling a giant refreshed, he sallied into the street. "I'm off to look for your provost," he said. "If you have any mere trouble, you'll find me in the town hall." A shell had plumped into the middle of the causeway, and the place was empty. Private Galbraith, despising shells, swaggered up the open, his disreputable kilt swinging about his puttee-less legs, the remnant of a bonnet set well on the side of his shaggy red head, and the light of battle in his eyes. For once he was arrayed on the side of the angels, and the thought encouraged him mightily. The brandy had fired his imagination. Adventure faced him at the next corner. A woman was struggling with 2 men, a slim, pale girl with dark hair. No sound came from her lips, but her eyes were bright with terror. Galbraith started to run, shouting British oaths. The men let the woman go and turned to face him. One had a pistol, and for the second time that day a bullet just missed its mark. An instant later a clean bayonet thrust had ended the mortal career of the marksman, and the other had taken to his heels. "I'll learn the lads to be safe free with their pop-guns," said the irate soldier. "Hold up, mem. It's a bye we knew. Losh, the woman's fainted." Private Galbraith was as shy of women as of his commanding officer, and he had not bargained for this duty. She was clearly a lady from her dress and appearance, and this did not make it easier. He supported her manfully.